Good evening. The first of a two-part budget to be delivered tonight by Finance Minister Mr Douglas is expected to be a quiet affair. No by-election handouts are expected, but it should show a substantial drop in the government's deficit. The effect of this should be a drop in interest rates and competition for loan money. Increased spending is expected in education, health, tourism and defence, and there should be some encouragement for those looking for cheaper housing finance. Claims that All Blacks could be killed in a tour of South Africa have been dismissed as nonsense by rugby administrator Mr Ron Don. Mr Don says the claim by South African United Democratic Front spokesman, the Reverend Arnold Stoffele, comes from a communist-inspired group specialising in lies and threats. Mr Don says it's a disgrace that the Broadcasting Corporation should allow its services to be used by political thugs making threats against amateur sportsmen. He says 53 countries have visited South Africa in the last year without coming to any harm, and it'll be the same for the All Blacks. Ronald Jorgensen, one of the men convicted of the infamous Bassett Road machine gun murders, has been implicated in a $100,000 fraud and theft of goods from the Canterbury Hospital Board. Jorgensen, who's been missing from Kaikoura for 6 months, is wanted by the police for questioning about missing Hospital Board vehicle parts and accessories. Police investigations into the disappearance of Jorgensen last December led to the recovery of stolen Hospital Board property and the conviction of 2 former employees. Fraud Squad detectives have raided several Christchurch properties. The Prime Minister says the government will introduce a tax system which will mean some workers on the average wage won't pay income tax. A government official says the new tax benefit system will match the indirect tax applied by the Goods and Services Tax. He says single income families with 2 children who are on the average weekly wage of $300 now pays $90 in tax, but he says that tax will be wiped out under the new system. Mr Longy says it's the least the government can do to address the